if it just wasn't working,
Right,
I wasn't
yeah,
ready to
yeah.
just fight for it. Let me put it that way. So I would easily say, hey, let's
call it quits.
Yeah. So there were times that we broke up, and this poor boy would just.
Poor boy.
This poor boy would just, I mean, I don't know if it's crying or whatever, come back begging and all that, but not because he was, I mean, we all have our flaws. I'm not perfect, he's not perfect, but of course you need to know what you want in a relationship. So if you don't see that, or if you don't feel like it's working, for me, it was easy to say, let's just quit.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel, and this is your favorite couple, Apia and
Rita.
We are so excited to come your way today to share with you our love story and where it all began. We've had so many people reaching out to us wanting to know how it all started and how we've been able to sustain our relationship up until this point. And so in today's video, we share with you our love story and where it all began. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Yeah, so we have known each other for about, I would say 15 years. It all began when we met at the university. So we both attended the same university, the University of Cape Coast in Ghana. Is where we officially met for the first time. How did we meet? We lived in the same hall of residence.
Yeah.
So we lived in the same hall of residence. It was a mixed hall, so we had both males and females sharing the same hall of residence. Yeah, so that's where it started.
Yeah, pretty much as Rita mentioned, that's where it all started. So so in level 100, I think I had a colleague of mine, right, a coursemate that happened to share the same room with Rita, and you know, I mean, both of us were kind of like the, you know, nerdy type, or you know, always like studying into academics and all that stuff. So I mean, I used to go visit this friend, and that's how I got to meet Rita. And then eventually, you know, we both found out that we were going to the same church, and you know, our friendship or relationship started from there, where we were even part of the same singing group or a choir together. That's Gospel Dynamics. So shout outs to all the Gospel Dynamics you know, associates and you know, that are watching us. So pretty much that is how we met on campus. That's in 2009, you know, back in the days. Yes.
Yeah. We go a long way. So some of you will ask, what was it about him or her that made you want to be in a relationship with the other? So for me, I would say when we initially started as friends, there was no intention of a relationship. It was more so you get to know each other. But along the line, I think as we talked, or as we were in conversations, I got to learn a little more about him, and also the fact that I think he had this girlfriend that had, I don't know, ditched him or something like that. I don't know a better word for it, but yeah, I think he had this girl back home that I think things did not go well, or just when they decided to, he decided to come to the university, and I don't know what was happening with her. I think either the girl called it quit, or he called it quit, or it just didn't work out, something like that.
Yes.
So that is what I recall. And so I think he needed a replacement, right? He needed a replacement. And then for me, I would say also back home, I also had this friend. I mean, I would say it was really like a friend that I kind of like will hang out with when we go back home. But it wasn't somebody that I saw as a person that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with or be in a relationship with. So it was more so, okay, I also needed to get to know somebody that I feel like we can have a relationship together and look into the future with. So yeah, as we realized that we were both like in the same boat of needing somebody, we decided to start off a relationship. That's my own version.
Yeah. So pretty much, yeah, that's exactly the story that has been
Okay.
narrated. And I say, I mean, we were friends for a very long time, and people back then, assumed that we were, dating. Obviously, we were dating, but it was just, a relationship where we were trying to get to know each other. And as I said, we had a lot of things in common. I mean, one, our faith connected us together, and then two, our hobbies, or the things that we liked. As I said, we both sang together, and this we'll share a picture of when I think that was in like 2010, 2009, when our choir had launched an album back then. And don't laugh when you see this picture, because that's like way back. So our faith, and as we talk, we realize that we shared things in common, our families, in a way we are alike in terms of how the family dynamics was, we'll do another video to talk to you more about it. But just our faith together, our kind of like hobbies, our passion. And I mean, for me, I would say her Rita's thoughtfulness when it comes to doing things, because personally, I'm the type that would kind of just go about things not in a very thorough manner, or I would just like for things to play out by itself. Rita is the type that would just be like, let's do it right now. So I think that's one thing that has also helped us in our relationship, where she wants the action now, and I want kind of like, can we wait and see how things work? So looking at all these dynamics, I mean, obviously you need someone that is going to complement you, right? Someone that obviously has things that you do not have. So she's always keeping me in check, just to make sure that we have that kind of fine balance. So apart from how we met, I would say that these three things are kind of what attracted me to her, for me to make that move. So maybe she will also share exactly what.
Okay. So yeah. So for me, I would say back then, he was the kind that would what would be a good word? Like to be in the public. Let me put it that way. I was and am still is the opposite, where anything about being in the public kind of like makes me nervous. So that really I really like that about him, and the fact that he would call for attention. Like, people just knew him, let me put it that way, because of how he was. He didn't care about being in front of a large crowd, talking, being in church, preaching, waking up early in the morning and waking people up to go pray. So I was totally opposite. So I just want to stay in my little room, my little corner, do my own thing. I don't want any attention. I don't want anybody to really know what is happening.
Right.
So I think that part of it really attracted me to him, because like he said, you want to have the other version
of
you. Yeah. So like they say, unlike poles attract. So that is what attracted him to me, or me to him, whichever. So
we encourage you to watch this video to the end, because we have a very interesting insight to share with you as to what are some of the things that we do or we've done over the past couple of years to ensure that our marriage has stuck together through thick and thin.
Yeah. If you're enjoying our content and if it's blessing you, we would be happy if you would consider subscribing. We know you don't owe us any subscription, but we would love to build our community here on YouTube. So if it's blessing you, if you feel like you are learning a lot from us, we would be happy if you would just consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't done so already. And also share with your family and friends.
And use the comment section below to let us know which aspects of the video that you liked, and let's get interactive. So now you've gotten to know how we met, what attracted us to each other, and I must say, like, with every relationship, we had our own fair share of struggles, which we are still having now. And, as the saying goes, it's better to break up a relationship than to break up a marriage. And so we did have maybe a couple of like separations and
yeah.
a couple of breakups.
Trust
Just because we were trying to make sure that we were the right fit for each other, because you don't want to settle with someone that you're going to regret. Obviously, once you get married, you might still have like issues, but
Not much,
that
you will still have
you will still have
issues,
issues, but at least you know that, okay, this is the person that I want to I've settled with, and there's no going back, right? So you want to make sure. So we had a lot of struggles, and back then was more like our communication. And I would say I was that time that I didn't really care so much about stuff. So I would say to some extent I kind of took the relationship for granted sometimes, and it was all a learning process that, hey, you cannot treat like a lady, you cannot treat anybody or a woman that you're in a relationship. So you have to be mindful, you have to be intentional about it. So that's something that personally I'm still learning to develop. But we did have a lot of struggles.
Oh yeah, like I would easily call it quit. Like yeah, most of the breakups in court, I would just say I'm done. Like, this is just above me. I don't want to be in a relationship where it's not going to work. Don't waste my time. So most times, not to really make it look like I was difficult to play or something like that, but if it just wasn't working, I wasn't ready to just fight for it. Let me put it that way. So I would easily say, hey, let's
call it quits.
Yeah, so there were times that we broke up, and this poor boy would just
poor boy.
This poor boy would just, I don't know if it's crying or whatever, come back begging and all that. But not because he was, we all have our flaws. I'm not perfect, he's not perfect. But of course, you need to know what you want in a relationship. So if you don't see that, or if you don't feel like it's working, for me, it was easy to say, let's just quit. Like, let's just be friends.
Right.
Let's just be nice to each other. I would prefer that over trying to struggle.
Be involved.
Struggling.
So at this point, you really know that is how it's like, even though she's very thoughtful about things, like fighting for stuff, would be like, well, I give up, but I would always want to try to push that, hey, things will happen. So I said, just look for someone that complements, someone that has something you don't have. So if someone is ready to give in, someone's ready to give up, the other person is ready to go the extra mile. And what also helped us back then with our breakups and making up things together was, we had like a couple of friends, or a friend that we to some extent entrusted our relationship, so that whenever we had issues, she would step in. And shout out to you, lady pastor Irene. And she was always helping us to get things back together. And even to date, she's still with us in our marriage. And whenever we have like maybe issues, we kind of go to her. So just know that there's no relationship without issues, but you have to know that you're ready to fight for it. It's not about this person giving a 50%, it's 100%. Everyone must give it their 100%, because that is how you make it work. And it's going to come over time. It's not something that happens just overnight, right?
Yeah.
So
no, it takes.
It's
a
going to be
thing,
it's going to be a love at first sight, but once things start to grow, it's not just going to be about the love, but it's about the commitment and dedication to stick with each other and to stay with each other.
And I'll say back then, we were students, of course. Somebody else was paying for our fees, feeding us. We didn't really have anything. But for me, it was more about what I saw in him, that I felt like it wasn't really about our current situation. And of course, some people want to go in for people who already have like a little older than them, or already are working and have their own money. But we were students trying to support each other. So I think we built a solid foundation from then, because it was the little that we had that we were all like helping each other with. So I would cook, he would come eat. Sometimes he would cook, I'll go eat. So it was those little things that we built over time that I feel like made our relationship even stronger to the point that after school there was a separation, not a breakup. It was just a separation because I got to travel, and then he was back home, and then later also got to travel to go school in the UK. So there was a period of distance for about
Be like 3 years.
Almost
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
And then we got married right from after the distance is when we got married. So somebody will ask, how did we survive during the period of
the
distance? But we'll do another
relationship,
video and talk more about that.
Yeah, surviving the long distance
Yeah.
relationship. Yeah. So I mean, pretty much I said, don't give up. And if you feel that the relationship is not working out for you, it's better to have a little break and just reflect to know that, hey, is this something that you really want? And there are some red flags that you cannot obviously keep on with it. If it's an abusive relationship, and if you are the only one that is putting in the effort 100%, that this is not something that's going to work. But just know that it's better to break up a relationship than
a marriage,
to break up a marriage. So thank you so much for sticking with us to this point. At this point, I just want to share with you, 3 things that we kind of reflect on every time in our marriage to ensure that we are going on this journey, because it is a lifetime. There is no going back, right? And this is something we've learned a couple of years ago that we want to share with you, that we feel will be beneficial to you. So the first thing is the 3 R's, right? 3 R. So the first R is remember. You need to remember that marriage is a lifetime commitment. Marriage is an institution that is ordained by God, and the enemy will always fight it, because a broken home is obviously creating like broken people. And so many people that are out there that are struggling with life are people that are coming from a broken. So number one, remember that this is a lifetime commitment. Remember that there's something that God puts you both together, puts you together on a mission to foster a family, a mission to be a blessing to the whole world and the people that are around you. So always remember, no matter how difficult it is, remember that God started this thing all together. So even before you both met, that it was God that started it. Remember.
Then you also have to recognize. So as humans, we are with faults. So we always have to recognize our weakness. We have to recognize our strengths, and build on those things. We have to ensure that whatever that we are weak in, we are trying to work on it. Whatever that we are strong in, we continue to even make it better to make sure that our marriages are working. Because like we already said, you don't want to end up in a divorce, and that is what we are really not trying to avoid in this situation. Divorce is really not an option for us. We had a chance to break up several years before marriage, which we didn't. So if we've decided to get into the marriage, then of course we are ready to make it work. So we recognize that we are humans and things happen. We have to get to the point where we forgive, we get things in shape, we are accommodative of each other, and we are just working every day to make sure that this marriage will work and continue to work.
Yeah, right. And the last R is for you to relearn, right? Because learning is a lifetime experience. So you need to relearn the things that made your relationship work back in the days. You need to relearn the secrets that keep things, working. You need to learn how are other people surviving in their marriage, and you need to unlearn those bad habits, right? Obviously, you cannot just say that this is how I am, this is who I am. But even though you might say that's the recognizing part. You recognize that this is the part that is not kind of fitting in this relationship. So unlearn those bad habits. You stay with your parents for like 20 plus years. You've picked up some habit that may not gel with your spouse or may not gel with your partner, and so just recognizing those habits and unlearning them. So relearn the things that works, relearn the things that made the relationship even come this far, learn new stuff and unlearn those bad habits. And if you are sticking with these 3 R's, remembering, recognizing and relearning, it is something that would definitely ensure that your marriage is going to keep going. We are hitting our 7 years anniversary this year, and obviously it's a lifetime to go, right? It's not like, we have 2 more years and we are done. It's a lifetime to go. So have these 3 R's and keep running with it. We hope you found this video insightful We encourage you to keep on coming back and watching our content, and don't forget to put God at the center of it all, because He is the one that holds it all together. There is no marriage, there's no relationship that can work without God. And so until we come your way again next time, stay blessed.